Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Joe Biden's America, where everything is made up and the facts don't matter. That's right, the facts are just like tampons at Leah Thomas's house. I'm Toxic Male, and that's Terrence Pop.
What's up, you scrotum suckers?
Oh, that tickles.
Shit's gonna get real.
Not that I would know or anything. It's been what, 4 or 5 days since we went live?
Yep.
And I feel like I'm getting whiplash just trying to keep up with the news that's coming in.
I believe I forwarded, 15 different articles to you?
At least. It took us about 2 hours yesterday to go over everything.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, you gotta be organized and prepared.
Yes, got to be organized. And one of the best ways that you guys can prepare is to go to this website here. If you go to redonkulous.com, you'll see it in the sources here. Get yourself one of these mugs. Why? Because leftoids are trying to cancel the store. It's a Dr. Seuss-inspired mug, and it's got the cat in the hat on it, and it says, "Let's go, Brandon. I do not like your mental haze. I do not like your leftist ways. I do not like your son on blow. I do not like you, Sleepy Joe." And, of course, if you have one of these, you're a wasteisms, and what's this bitch say? They should be canceled just like all those other racist Dr. Seuss books. Okay. Which ones?
Which ones?
Which ones?
Which ones?
I would like a shining example.
I've as a child, I was read these books many times in the libraries in the elementary schools.
Yeah.
Not one. They said boy, man, and woman. No races in there whatsoever. None.
Yeah. Oh, but now, because it says boy, man, and woman, now that's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah,
because
right.
Now we've reached the point where people are refusing to even define what a woman is. It's amazing.
Well, let's see. A woman is the other half of the human race that can grow and deliver babies into the world.
I would define them as an adult human female.
Correct.
Meaning they
can have kids.
They have a snot pocket instead of a snot stick.
Yeah, I guess it is a snot pocket, and it has been known to leave snail trails around.
Thing that rhymes with dumb cumster instead of, purple-headed yogurt spitter.
Yes.
Yeah. A one-eyed wonder worm.
Yogurt, the yogurt slinger.
Yogurt slinger, you'd pick your euphemism.
Yeah, the stand-up probing worm.
That sounds a little weird.
Yeah, the hydraulic shit stick. if you're gay and that's your thing.
Oh, no.
Just saying.
Going the wrong
what
way.
do I know? What do I know?
The wrong way up the Hershey Highway.
Yeah.
Yes. The link on Redonkulous for this mug, you'll notice, actually is for an article about it. But if you go to UnitedPatriotCo.com, their leftoids are currently in the process of trying to cancel them, so they may be having some issues with payment processing. I noticed earlier when I went on there, I tried to buy a couple for us, and it wasn't accepting credit or debit cards at that particular point in time.
Yeah.
Of course, it was accepting PayPal, and we all know how we feel about that.
Yeah, fuck PayPal. And I'm going to say this every time I get on the stream or I'm in public.
Yep.
Stop doing business with people who want to hurt this country.
Yep.
All right. Now, if you are like PayPal basically gave me the kibosh for exercising my First Amendment rights, talking about the poke and smoke, which there's more evidence coming out how terrible it is.
1,300 adverse effects.
And I'm just going to go on a limb here. I'm expecting PayPal to issue a full apology to me once this whole thing comes out. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
Get rid of fucking PayPal.
I mean, their stock prices have literally been chopped in half in less than a year, and they're doubling down.
What is their stock price today, I'm wondering?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah,
but when we reviewed it, when all this shit came to a head and we lost all of our PayPal and Venmo accounts,
Yep.
It had dropped over 50% in less than a year.
And
basically, it started dropping precipitously as soon as they leagued up with the ADL.
I wonder if the stockholders of PayPal were informed of these decisions moving forward. I bet they weren't.
I bet they weren't. And I bet there's a lot of people who invested in that company as it was on its way up who are now
pretty upset.
Rightfully pissed.
Yeah.
And they should be. In fact, you should pull all your money out of PayPal, not just stockholders, but account holders in general. Fuck them. They're anti-veteran, they're anti-science, and they can smurf my balls.
Absolutely correct. To hell with PayPal.
Yes. And speaking of balls,
Here we go.
Those of you probably heard Babylon Bee got suspended from Twitter because they published a biological fact. And as we all know in this day and age, you publish biological facts, you're going to hear 3 words and 3 words only.
How dare you?
And there you go.
There you go.
Twitter just suspended Babylon Bee for calling Rachel Levine a man, and the Bee is refusing to delete the tweet because, it's true.
It's true.
Because apparently Richard Levine was named Woman of the Year in USA Today. Stunning and brave.
God damn.
Ugh. And this person is supposed to be in charge of something to do with health, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing healthy in that. I'm just saying.
Jail.
He has like 2 kids.
Yeah.
Now he's a woman. Man, this guy's jacking his whole family up doing this shit. Jesus Christ.
I'm all for, it doesn't affect me one way or another. So do your deal. What have you? I mean, you want to dress up like a woman, what have you. It doesn't hurt me one way or the other. When you have a family and you drag them through the mud, and then you insist on trying to drag the rest of the country through the mud as well, trying to police their language, police their thoughts even, now I have a problem because you've made it personal.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for you in the long run.
No,
I'm just
not
saying.
so much.
Let's just say if I was to see bad things happen to that man, I really wouldn't care.
Yeah. It is what it is. They say Babylon Bee cannot get their Twitter back unless they delete the tweet. And then this is the CEO holding his ground. We're not deleting anything. Truth is not hate speech. If the cost of telling the truth is the loss of our Twitter account, so be it.
How many times have I said this? The truth is not an insult, and reality is not an attack.
And how many times have we said this? If you apologize to the woke mafia, are they going to stop?
Nope.
No.
They want more and more and more.
They're not going to stop.
The best thing you could do is just draw that line in the sand, stand there with the 2 middle fingers.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Not
F them
moving.
in the A. And what really cracks me up about that situation is that by them demanding that Babylon Bee delete the tweet when they could easily do it themselves, they're trying to force them to bend the knee.
That's right.
That's really what it's all about. It's a show of power.
Yep.
Fuck them.
Twitter's on its way out. Apologize or else.
Twitter's on its way out. So is Facebook.
Yeah.
The Meta stockholders right now are pissed. I think it's lost, $18 billion in value in the last 6 months alone?
I have to look at the stocks. I can't tell you. All I know is we're in for a huge, huge stock market correction.
Yes.
And it's not going to be good. And the woke companies out there, I hope, suffer the most.
They should, and I think they will.
I hope they should.
They are suffering thus far.
Yeah.
I mean, if the success of Spider-Man No Way Home has shown us anything, I mean, it's like $2 billion now worldwide.
Uh-huh.
Because Sony...
It's crushing it.
Yeah, Sony took all the woke shit out.
Uh-huh.
But maybe at the behest of Kevin Feige, who knows? But it wasn't really there. And they were like, oh, well, people aren't going to the movies because of the pandemic.
No,
they're not going because the movies are shit. When you make a good one, people will go out and see it.
No one wants to pay good money to go to a theater to have them attempt to brainwash you.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood's always been red. I understand that. They at least used to be subtle about it.
Yes.
Now they're making they're making less movies for more money, and they're shoveling in as much propaganda as they can, and people are getting turned off by it.
And they're not making they're not getting a return on it. It's just a matter of time before they fail. I mean, the Daily Wire has started making movies.
Yeah, and they got Gina Carano.
Yeah. I mean,
Want to touch the hiney?
Well, no, she's all right. She's okay. Like, listen, I'm not dating a woman who could fold my clothes with me in them against my will. I just
there are some dudes who are into that.
Not me. Not me. I'm sure she's a great person. If I ever meet her, I will say hello to her. But that is about it. I am not into hero worship.
No, not
at all.
That's it.
But the thing is,
when she was younger, she reminded me of like a buff Sandra Bullock if Sandra Bullock actually had boobs.
Yeah, and then I don't know if Daily Wire actually starts putting out movies and they start making money, I can guarantee you there will be another location which will start making movies to rival that what's taking place in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Hollywood is a shit show now. Everything about Hollywood is expensive, stupid. They want to push bullshit on you. And they think the average person is too stupid to make their own goddamn decisions.
Yeah.
So they talk down to everyone like we're fucking in kindergarten. Well, Hollywood, go fuck yourself. What the fuck are you thinking? You're goading me to do rants.
Yes, I am.
You are. Listen, now I see it.
Hashtag spun up pop.
This is like, I wonder if this will piss Pop off here.
He's triggered.
Oh my God.
Shit, man. It's one hell of a nut roll. This whole thing, no pun intended.
Now we're going to talk about the NCAA swimmers, right?
Yeah.
Now, before we go there, I just want to say this.
Go for it.
All right. My sister, I'm not going to say her name. I don't want to bring her into this. She hates the show. She hates me, and that's fine.
Where?
My sister was a competitive swimmer all the way from 6th, 7th grade to the end of high school. She was ranked in the top 3 in Michigan at one point, right? And she swam for a golf course team, and then she swam for the schools she attended. And my mother drove her all the time. My mother took her to Chicago, Indiana, Minnesota, New York, I think 2 other states on the East Coast closer to Florida, I don't remember, to swim. In all of these goddamn competitions, the countless tax dollars and time invested and all of that shit, okay? And my sister had an offer, full ride scholarship. And what does she decide to do? Get some dick! And fucked it all up. Okay. Now, just imagine, you go through all of that, and then your kid goes from high school to college, and you're doing the same thing, and they're crushing it. They're working hard every day. Literally, they are sacrificing their youth and vigor to do the best they can at the sport because they love it. It's the only way I can explain to somebody that puts that kind of effort in. You got to love it to go that far. And then some fucking jackwagon, some smoke pole, carrying son of a bitch decides, you know what? Over here in the men's swimming side, I'm just mediocre. I'm ranked like 460 here in the country. But you know what? I feel like a chick and my nipples are getting a little hard. So I'm going to swim on the girls' team and just crush everyone.
Yep.
Now, as a child, I heard all of that. Anything you can do, I can do better. The whole woman's lib thing was taken off. It was a complete shit show. And women believed they could do anything a man can do and better until a man shows up, says he's a woman, signs up, and kicks your fucking ass. Fuck off. All right. God damn it.
Well, what I think is so hilarious about this is that for men, it's basically a no-lose scenario.
No.
I mean, look at the facts, and here they are. William Thomas was ranked 462nd in men's swimming. That's not even mediocre. That's bottom of the pack.
Well, it all depends on how many people were there. We don't know.
Starts competing as a woman. Number one. Setting records.
Same thing happened with the 2 chicks that play tennis that everyone thinks are the world's best.
Yeah. Oh, the Williams sisters.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what is it? The guy ranked at 560 kicked the shit out of him?
No, they said that they could beat any man who was ranked lower than 200. So they knew. And then a guy came in, he was like ranked 213 or something like that, smoked them both back to back, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey the entire time.
I would have loved to see that. That would be awesome.
It is what it is.
I love that shit.
If there's anything that this has proven, it's that gender feminism is over. It is absolutely over.
Yeah,
because they're the ones who started pushing the whole men and women are physically, mentally equal thing.
Absolutely correct. And you know what? I hope that the women who are not feminists turn on these cunts and ruin their fucking lives, because they have put the policies in place that allow these trans athletes to take away your daughter's scholarships.
Yep.
So you need to focus your anger where it belongs.
Yes.
And it belongs focused on those fucking cunts.
Yeah. And the backlash has begun. NCAA swimmer wants a rule change after missing out on files to Leah Thomas. Rika Georgie leveled the criticism in a post to her private Instagram account after missing the cut on Thursday to compete in the finals of the 500 free at the NCAA championships. Bottom line, she's not, and same goes for us. We're not anti-trans. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Just don't force me to.
Yeah. We are pro-biology.
Correct.
Pro-science. And science proves men have larger hearts, more bone density, larger lung capacity, more musculature. Testosterone is a better performance-enhancing drug by an order of magnitude than steroids could ever be. Fact, not opinion.
Wow, okay. All right, let's just be realistic here. Testosterone will supercharge your body if it's not used to getting it on a regular basis. But that boost you get, like if you're born a woman and you're like 18, 19, and you decide to be a man and you start taking testosterone, you are not magically going to get all the benefits of that testosterone that a man would get when he starts off with it at day one.
No, and even somebody who started it before puberty and continues to take the treatments through adulthood is never going to have the testosterone levels of a biological male.
Or the benefits of that testosterone on their biology, because that's just the way it is.
I mean, you might develop a beard that looks like you're growing like spotty, poorly waxed pussy hair on your face, but that's really about as good as you can hope for.
But, testosterone is the go-to drug for performance enhancement, because you can take it, you can take a lot of it for a reasonably long amount of time, then dial it back down and go to your competition. They check you, your test levels are normal.
Yep.
Got it. But if, you could take all kinds of other roids that some of them will be in your system for up to a year. And some of them do outperform testosterone, but they have horrible, horrible side effects.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. What does she say here? One spot was taken away from the girl who got 9th in the 500 free and didn't make it back to the A final, preventing her from being an All-American. Every event that transgender athletes competed in was one spot taken away from biological females throughout the meet. She's not wrong. Guess what happened to her? After issuing this statement,
she got crucified.
Banned on Twitter.
Yeah. Now, first of all, we quit using Twitter 3 years ago. I deleted our account when we got a warning for some
bullshit.
Some bullshit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck off. I don't need you. I don't have any following anyway. Fuck, we're done.
Yep.
So
it's yeah. If you have a Twitter, get rid of it. Pure and simple. Go on Getter, Gab, Vines.
Now Gab, I have a problem with. We got banned on Gab, and we were never told why.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the fact that we're red pill MGTOW individuals.
I honestly.
And the guy who runs Gab is like an uber religious kind of person. All right.
How dare you tell
personally,
people not to get married in a system rigged to kill them?
I would love to punch his face in. I really would.
Okay, so I take it back. Getter or Minds.
Okay.
I mean, there's lots of options out there.
Now, don't get me wrong. We might use Gab again in the future, especially with the Gab TV thing and the live streaming. We'll see what happens. But I'm very upset with them.
Yeah, because no reason was ever given. And when we tried to write to them to get one, radio silence.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and if you try to log in with the original email, you can't log in from that computer. You have to go in and scrub all of the cookies and all the other shit, which is insane.
And one thing that I want to bring up, My brother actually mentioned this earlier, and I'm surprised that it hadn't dawned on me until he mentioned it. We know that because of what happened in Loudoun County, 2 people raped by a high school student, manual transmission individual, and the school board actively covered it up. Now, there's been some question as to why there hasn't been more mass outrage, like more of an organized resistance to shit like this in the NCAA. How much do you want to bet these women are being pulled aside by their coaches and possibly staffers and administrators at the university and being told flat out, if you stand against this, if you come out and you put our university in the limelight trying to stand up for what's right, for biology, for science, we're going to take your fucking scholarships away. How much you want to bet that conversation has been happening in virtually every leftoid university in this country?
I would say probably correct. Now, here's another thing. If these girls want this to stop, quite literally, they show up, they find out they're swimming against some trans guy or trans woman, whatever you want to call it. They don't say anything. They line up on the starting blocks, and the only one that jumps in when they fire the starting gun is the trans dude who swims by himself, and all the other women don't participate.
Yep.
This shit would come to a halt ASAP.
Yeah, they'll take a breather and then go to the bathroom together because that's what chicks do.
Correct.
Yeah, they go and talk shit.
Either they go in flocks, gaggles, or herds, depending on how old they are.
True story. Oh, and by the way, Leah Thomas apparently has some friends in high places. This photo was just sent to me before the stream.
And here we go.
It's kind of disturbing. Ties into what we're talking about later. Oh, no, anything but that. No. Hunter.
Oh, my God.
Hunter, it's the crying game. I know. Go smoke some cheese and just forget this ever happened. Just step away. Step away from the dick. Put the dick down.
Is funny. Wow. Wow. Who knew?
Who knew? Hey, what are you going to do? I mean, it's not as bad as this.
Oh, God!
I love fucking with you, man.
I hate that one, man. Let's do a roll call.
Doing a quick roll call here. Let's check it out. On YouTube, we currently have 896 watching with only 362 likes. You guys are slacking.
Come on.
You're slacking. Hit that like button, gentlemen. 45 viewers currently watching on MGTOW.tv, 551 on Rumble. Thank you guys very much for tuning in over there. Odyssey is rocking 109. Twitch is at 81, and DLive is at 47.
All right.
Outstanding. You guys are awesome. Now, back to the previous subject. But
That's a good one.
that's a real nice one.
That's a good one.
She gets like 10 mile an hour in the front, 15 in the back.
No. That's a 15 mile an hour. Front.
15 miles all around, you think?
Yeah, I would give it 15 front, 10 mile back.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Now, there are some feminists out there who have finally started speaking up against all of this stuff. Now, I mentioned earlier the gender feminism. That's basically what brought this about. Christina Hoff Sommers in the book, Who's Still Feminism, she was the one who kind of broke it down into its various subsects. Gender feminism, she writes, is an alternative version of feminism and is the dominant feminist voice in academia. This was back in 1994. So we're definitely seeing that in fruition by this point. And let's not forget, when these ladies like to whine and moan about this stuff, even though they're right, they struck first.
Yes, they did.
Boy Scouts will accept girls in a bid to shape the next generation of leaders. Now, this particular article came out in 2017, but there were plans of this going around in the media as early as 2015.
I'm gonna listen. I was a Boy Scout for 2 years, 8th and 9th grade, and I did so mainly. I had no father at home. I wanted to go shoot guns, go fishing, and go camping. It's the only opportunity I could get. And they were pushing for this back then. This is like in the mid 80s.
Yeah, because men and women are physically and mentally equal. Yeah, we're seeing the fruition of that thought pattern as we speak.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, when the women have pushed their point and pushed their point, they have quite literally destroyed Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
They have destroyed it.
They filed for bankruptcy after years of, I guess there's been some child rapé problems in there.
Now listen, the Boy Scouts did not want to have gays and trans individuals being troop leaders.
Wasn't it initially a religious organization?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was. Well, every time I went to the Boy Scout meetings, we did this Pledge of Allegiance. Every single time.
Yeah.
And
then, now they don't even do it in school.
And they don't do it in school. And I think Boy Scouts is pretty much done now. I think they're bankrupt, they're gone, and you can thank women for that.
Yeah, and Girl Scouts, all they have are cookies, and they donate to BLM, so don't buy the fucking cookies, gentlemen. You can go to the dollar store and get stuff that tastes just like Thin Mints, and it's only $1 instead of this hyperinflated BS.
Those little fucking cunt Boy Scout or Girl Scout women who sell those goddamn crack fucking cookies. God damn you.
They're so good.
They're so fucking good.
Damn it.
God damn you.
It's like you have to shut your brain off like, I don't like where this money is going. But damn it, those fucking Thin Mints, bro.
They're fucking good.
Oh, they're so good.
I remember walking in the grocery store. Yeah, do you like the price of 10 minutes? Oh, you little bitch. How many boxes you have? Give me 6. Fucking hate you.
Oh, man. That's one thing that my sister actually turned me on to. She walked into my house one day, and she hands me this stack of cookies from the dollar store. She's like, try these. I'm like, these taste like Thin Mints. They're only $1. I'm like, shut your whore mouth and give me those fucking cookies. I like sauntered off with them.
Yeah.
You find me, in the corner listening to jungle drums, eating cookies.
I mean, it's like $6 a box now for the Girl Scout.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it might not be $1 at the dollar store anymore. It might be $1.25. Bidenomics, yay! But just saying.
Yeah, it's another thing. I'm probably going to. I'm probably going to be reluctant to support Girl Scouts and stop buying their cookies in the future.
Amen to that. Well, I'm going to just boil this down if I can. Because this is something that I've noticed. It happens over and over again throughout history. We've seen it numerous times just in the last decade. Every movement, I'm talking specifically about feminism in this instance, but every movement eventually goes corrupt. Why?
Because they actually solve the problem in which they were formed for.
Well, power corrupts, absolutely.
Well, no, I mean, like, for instance, you form a group to stop impossibility widgets.
Yeah.
And they get all kinds of money. They're organized.
Exactly.
Everyone's like, stop the impossibility widgets. And then they do.
And then what happens to the money?
Yeah.
We solved the problem. But I've become accustomed to a particular lifestyle, and
Correct.
you need to keep that lifestyle going. So I'm going to find a new problem.
That's right.
And another problem, and another problem. And then sooner or later, you know what? Maybe we'll run out of problems. I'll just invent a bunch.
Yeah, that happens.
It does.
Look, the left invents they invent the problem and then they bitch about it. It's like clockwork with them.
But the problem is, once you reach that phase in the tilt-a-whirl where you start having to invent problems, then it becomes overwhelmingly obvious to everyone with a pulse that you're just grifting. And then what happens? Leah Thomas happens. Mm-hmm. Rachel Levine happens. And, I mean, shit, if you don't remember this woman...
Oh, my God.
Rachel Dolezal happens. Pretended to be black for I don't know how long before she was finally found out. Sean King, same thing. That dude is so white his placenta was the bag that Wonder Bread comes in.
But
He's not black.
But the way the left works, you can feel you are a certain thing and they'll have to accept it.
Yep.
You can identify as a black man. No. Well, identify. No. Well, you have to accept me as one because that's how I identify.
Yeah.
Look, it's a mental instability.
Yep.
And you should not be forced to reinforce someone else's mental illness.
No.
Fuck that. That is absolutely insane.
Or, worst case scenario, you allow them to compete in the UFC, Fallon Fox, and you wind up with women getting their skulls cracked open. Literally.
Like, you have to generate a moderate to a great amount of force to fracture a skull. Like, we need to be, like, if you're going to fracture the skull of a man, you're going to have to hit him with a hammer, a bat, or some other heavy object that you can get a clean hit.
Or if you're Bob Saget, apparently you can accidentally bump your head and just fall asleep.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. It's not easy. Okay, like, it can be done by people who have, you know, trained in the martial arts or competed professionally or at high levels in professional arenas in combat sports. They can muster the PSI, pounds per square inch per strike, to actually do that.
Yeah.
All right, now you're taking somebody that used to be a man, and they're like, oh, he's not taking any testosterone, and we're blocking the production of his testosterone, and that testosterone is so low, it's on par with a woman. So therefore, the left thinks it's completely, totally logical to let this individual who used to be a man, who technically is a man, that has woman levels worth of testosterone, and that'll be a fair fight if he was to go up against another woman. Not so much, because when that happened, the woman got her skull fractured and retired from the sport, and is going to have to suffer medical repercussions from that for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Gotta love it. But according to leftoids, like, I love this quote here. Gender's not binary. It's not even biological. Sure. But what strikes me as odd is that race is not biological either. All right.
All right, hang on. Whoa.
Whatever, you sickle sellout.
All right. All right. Let's say this individual here that you're showing on the screen with the fake permed hair or whatever gets into an aircraft. There's a couple of engine failures, and that plane smashes into the ocean and bursts into flames. And all they find is one piece of a finger. And they do DNA on it to identify who that finger belonged to.
Guess what?
Guess what?
If it's got 2 X chromosomes, they're going to check female. And if it's XY chromosomes, they're going to check male. But maybe you just have 1 X. They're going to call you Turner syndrome. But the fact of the matter is, gender and sex are biological. Race is most definitely biological. If you think race is not biological, try getting a bone marrow transplant from someone who's not of your race and see what happens.
Pretty tough.
It's not going to go well for you.
I've actually donated bone marrow, and first of all, that
sucks.
It was a fucking horrible medical procedure.
Yep.
But it was worth it. It was
big old hollow needle right into your bones.
It was a fucking kid had cancer, and I was doing my deal in the military. They said, okay, everyone, give a little blood test to see if you can give bone marrow to this kid.
Boo!
And I didn't think I'm like, I'll be fine. It won't happen to me. But, my blood type is O negative. I'm a universal donor. Lo and behold, hey, you're the closest match. We want you to go in on Sunday and donate some bone marrow. Oh my God. They literally drill and you're like, ow. You're like, they're sucking the shit out. Like, never again.
Never again.
Never. I have to know the person and I have to like them before I will put myself through that kind of pain again.
Oh God! Why didn't anybody tell me?
And the kid did well. Last time I checked, he was still alive. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. He'd be about 13 now.
Yeah.
12, 13.
Cop Cuffs want to know what's Dollar Store. I want to say it was Dollar General where they have those cookies. So check it out. Yeah. Get yourself some cookies. Go get fat. Just lick them and stick them to your ass. That's right where they're going.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. Oh, man. It's hilarious. Just the state of the left in 2022. I mean, feminism is to blame for this problem that they have now. Everything that they've been complaining about, men are trying to erase women, they're trying to take away our achievements, they're trying to take away our reproductive rights. Now it's actually happening, and you're being called a bigot if you oppose it.
Correct.
You see what happens when you dive face first into this cesspool of shit and come up asking for seconds?
You're going to wind up getting some of that in your mouth. It's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant at all. Yes, gender and sex are not biological, but your hamburger comes with a dose of misogyny.
Yeah, that was a funny video.
No one is illegal, but Ukraine's borders are sovereign and need to be respected. Fuck's sakes.
Jesus Christ.
The delusion is palpable, and it's everywhere. In fact, it's even in Ukraine. Now, before we click play on this, I know that you have something to say.
All right, listen. I'm going to say this right now. Women, in my opinion, should not be on the front lines doing frontline stuff. They should be, they can support frontline stuff like medics or somebody bringing up the beans and bullets to the front line, or driving wounded people back to get medical aid.
Yeah.
But listen, on that last 300 meters of our country's foreign policy that I've had to enforce in war, that last 300 meters is a fucking stone bitch. You gotta be fast. You gotta be able to carry your weapons with you, and you have to run your fucking ass off. And when you get in position, not be so goddamn exhausted that you can't use your weapons effectively. Okay, that is fucking important. I got it. Yep. Now, Ukraine, they basically said any man between the ages of 16 and 60 cannot leave the country.
Yep. And even if you volunteer and go over there now, they're basically ripping up your passport and holding your ass hostage until the war is over, which could be tomorrow or it could be in 5 years. We don't fucking know.
Well, there's some funny business going on. We'll get into that, once we have a little bit more information. But I've been hearing those reports as well. And I'm not going to take anything away from this female soldier who's defending her country. I'm not doing that. I'm just not a fan of seeing this. Maybe because I'm old school. Maybe because I know exactly what combat takes to make sure you bring back the most people you possibly can. Because war is a fucking huge meat grinder.
Yeah. And in that meat grinder, there is no room for wokeness, feminism, or any ideology other than survival. So when you see this coming out of a nation that allegedly needs our help and support, and they have time to put out bullshit feminist propaganda like this, it makes you wonder if we're being told a little bit of a white supreme pizza lie.
Could be.
Let's check it out. Oh no, she's stripping. Are we gonna get a strike?
I'm not a woman. I'm a person.
I'm not the woman. I'm person. So we're already crossing the gender lines.
Look, she's taken off the body armor, which is not heavy. She's wearing all of the stuff soldiers wear, which I respect. I'll give her that.
All right, let's let her keep talking. She's going to put her foot in her mouth.
Citizen of this country.
AK-74.
I'm a soldier, a sergeant, a combat medic, and I need to protect this country.
Which I respect.
Yep.
We are in Kyiv, and you even can hear air raid sirens now. Just the usual, what is it, Saturday in Kyiv or Tuesday or whatever. To keep our capital, I think it's the most important thing. Because the capital is the ideological point. It's the heart of the country.
She's making tea.
So,
doing the
like
thing, she's people just like us kind of thing. Now, I'm not going to take away from the importance of her role as a combat medic. What I will say is this. If you're a combat medic, you are out there treating the wounds of people who can physically do the things that you can't.
Well,
In her case.
In her case.
Because she's not going to be slinging a dude over her shoulder and dragging another one 50 feet behind cover. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
She's going to be safely, probably not on the front lines, treating people who have been brought to her.
I have demonstrated this in real life.
Yep.
We used to have a hospital unit in the reserve center where I was. And they were doing, they were prepping for the EFMB, which is basically a combat. It's the same thing as a expert infantryman badge, except it's for medics. And they had women, they had to drag people around, and they were like, oh, it's so hard. Oh, and I remember I'm standing there, I'm like, what? I'm like, this is your fucking job. You're a fucking medic. You need to be able to drag. They're so heavy. They need to like lighten it for women. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I go to the starting point, and I put the female medic on my fucking back. I laid down 2 other soldiers, both men. I grabbed them by the scruff, basically behind the collar on their uniform, and I have this chick on my back, and I dragged them, all 3 of them, 200 fucking meters.
I don't see her doing that. She's probably, what, $115?
Yeah, and I remember I let go of the 2 dudes. I took the female medic off my back, and I said, when you can do that, then you'll be ready for combat.
Yep.
Yeah, just saying. Okay.
Now, like we said, you can't demean what it is that she's doing.
I'm not doing that.
Because combat medics are essential.
Fuck yeah.
There's no denying that. But there's a particular problem that I have with something that eventually occurs in this video, and it's quoted in the title. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Women are much stronger than men, says the female combat medic on Kiev's front lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that we just detailed several examples that have taken place in recreational and professional sports over the past several years that prove you are 1,000% wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Now, just like with the manual transmission community, we're not dehumanizing you. We're just giving you a dose of reality. You can't change your biology with feelings, and saying something over and over again doesn't make it true.
So you're saying something about the confused poles and holes community?
The poles and holes community, yes.
They're confused. Where does this belong?
I don't know, man.
How do I express this non-binary thing? I don't know. Shut the fuck up.
Does it just like slip inside of his pee-pee hole? I'd pay money to see that.
Does it go in a bowl of soup while he's massaging my balls? I don't know.
Does he whip it with a car antenna?
Can't be good.
Sounds
Can't be
bad.
Good.
Sounds real bad.
Sounds bad.
Sounds very bad.
Now I hope this young woman does a great job.
So do
does
I.
not get hurt or wounded, and lives to be old and gray and have a happy long life. I really do.
As do I. I hope that many people in Ukraine are like, because there are people on both sides of this war right now.
Yeah.
They're just caught in the middle. They're like most of us. We just want to be left alone to live our lives. Now they've been thrust into the middle of this. Mm-hmm. And we're feeling free as a culture in this country to completely cancel an entire country, to try and cut them off from all types of commerce, and they're just people like you and me who want to be left the fuck alone.
That's absolutely correct.
It's ridiculous.
And I did a whole video on a layer video where I gave my opinion on the performance of the Russian army, and people flipped the fuck out thinking like I was saying Ukraine is going to win.
No, that's not what you said.
I just said Russia can win, but they're going to destroy their army to do it with the amount of losses that they're taking, which, in my opinion, are very, very high for just 3 weeks of duking it out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, when this first started, I'm like, this is the Russian army. It's like the 3rd best army in the fucking world.
It's going to be like 5 days and done.
They're going to it's going to be a blowout. If Russia gets air superiority, it's fucking over. I did not see this happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of people now who will still insist that it's going to be in the bag for Russia, without any serious problems. We're already seeing serious problems, 1, and 2, don't forget the last 20 years where a bunch of backward-ass fucking dildo bags in caves managed to hold off and drive to a stalemate the United States military.
Yeah.
And then, thanks to Richard Potato, Mr. Installation Ice Cream Social Alzheimer's himself, they got $60 billion worth of new weaponry out of the deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's another thing Russia's doing. They've already made this mistake before, if you go back in history. Before World War II, it was called the Winter War, where Russia duked it out with Finland. They lost almost half of their dudes and equipment in that battle. And yes, they won. I mean, Finland sued for peace. Russia got what they wanted out of the deal. But the fact that they performed so poorly there was one of the critical decision points Hitler used to kick off Barbarossa a year later.
Yep.
And Russia didn't have those tanks that got fucking destroyed in that Winter War. Didn't have the 300 some odd soldiers, 300,000 some odd soldiers that were wounded or killed. Didn't have those. All right. And Germany was able to tap dance all over Russia's face for a good 2 fucking years before they pulled their head out of their ass and fielded armies with equipment that could actually push the Nazis back.
Yeah.
So, Russia could fucking win Ukraine, but what's going to happen in the future? If they get their army chewed up on this one fucking battlefield, Russia is right next to fucking China.
And Poland. Poland's pissed.
Yeah. Well, Poland. Yeah. Well, the Poles don't have a military that can actually.
Well, not as much of a military, but you can go and fuck with a weakened military.
Yeah, you can. You can. But the thing is, the way Russia's acting, they're fucking their army up. They're risking their navy. They are showing their hand with their hypersonic missiles, which I can guarantee you it's just a matter of time before we put together a defense for that if we don't already have one. And say they do take over Ukraine and they lose half their shit. It's going to take 3 decades to build that back up for them because they do not have a big GDP.
No.
Okay? They're fucked. They're fucking themselves and they don't even fucking know it.
But
ooh, yeah.
Here's a thought.
Here we go.
And this just occurred to me while you were talking. Considering how much money has flown between the Biden crime family in China and the Biden crime family in Ukraine, and considering the fact that Putin is in China's pocket because Russia is the military and China is the bricks, the bankroll, right? Mm-hmm. Who's to say this isn't all part of the plan?
We don't know.
You go in and you detonate all of the various sites that could prove that our stunning and brave, duly elected Richard Potato had some crime shenanigans going on in that country under the guise of an invasion when they can distract the living hell out of the world populace with propaganda galore and demonize Russia to their heart's fucking content. Meanwhile, no one's eyes are on the prize. The Hunter Biden laptop and how it's been proven real and all of the crimes that have been legitimized as a result of that finally. But the mainstream media is not really reporting on it.
There's a bank account out there that has Hunter Biden's name on it and our dictator in chief,
Richard Potato.
So he is implicated directly
Dictator
in the monies that has gone back and forth.
Yep. He's the big guy.
We have to hit the pisser.
Oh, okay. Well, while you're out, I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm not completely full of shit, so I'm going to show you the part of the video
Okay.
that I was talking about here.
Like any woman will do. Women are much stronger than men, I think. We can
Really?
Really? Dive just right into the fire and feel calm, but
Could just dive right into the fire and feel calm. Okay. You ever taken a sharp turn with a woman in the car? Anyone who has knows that this woman is full of shit. Enjoy the deep fakes. Be back in a moment.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You look like a blueberry.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
That's really good.
Those never get old, man.
They never get old.
The last thing that we were going to talk about here before we get to the super chats and then eventually jump to new tech is now the big thing, I guess, and Fox News covered this. Everybody's like, you need to donate to the Red Cross because the Red Cross is sending money to the Ukrainians, and every single one of them is beatific, and you should be praying to them and shit.
Okay, now hang on.
Yeah.
I have actually looked into the numbers for Red Cross.
Yep.
And roughly 11 to 15 cents of every dollar you send to them goes to the cause which you're supporting.
And the rest of it goes to these exorbitant salaries.
Now check this shit. This is
Gail
insane.
McGovern, president and CEO, $709,164 a year. Clifford Holtz, COO, $700,415. Sean Gilmore, Chief Transformation Officer. Transformation Officer.
Ooh.
I hope he's a transportation officer, because if he's a transformation officer, we all know where Leah Thomas is going.
That can get dicey.
A little bit.
Quite literally.
Slice and dicey. Slice it right up the middle, scoop out all the penile tissue, flip it inside out, and you have your very own bratwurst barbecue.
So disgusting.
Hey, you're the one who made the video, man.
I know. It's terrible.
$651,000. James H. Hrauda, president of Biomedical Services, $642,000. Brian Woa, CFO, $509,000. John McMaster, president, PHSS, $441,000. And it goes on and on and on.
What the lowest person on this list is paid $230,000.
Jennifer Hawkins, Corps Secretary and Chief of Staff, $230,000 a year.
Wow. Now listen.
Totally a charity.
All right. Let's just be honest here. A lot of these nonprofits pay their people this way
Yeah.
because they don't want to lose them to the private sector. But
it's still not sounding very charitable.
yeah, it's still not
I get
very
it.
charitable.
It's
I get
still allegedly a free market,
it. I got you.
but it's still a little fucked up.
But like,
See.
Redonkulous.com works right under our own charity, Second Class Citizen.
Yep.
And we don't make shit, but we have 428 lives saved.
Damn right.
So at least you're getting results with the little bit of money we get here.
Yes. And we do what we can. Administrative violence is almost done. It is going to be available come May. Oh, it's going to be glorious.
It'll be good.
I spoke with Donovan Sharp about it. Just from a brief description, he's like, dude, this sounds like a fucking game changer. I want you to come on the show and pitch it to everybody.
Fuck yeah.
So
No
we're
problem.
going to be sending out some various different snippets
Yeah.
and previews to creators like Better Bachelor, Sandman, and hopefully we'll get the word out to where it needs to go.
Yeah, listen. And a lot of the stuff in the administrative violence, actually all of it, is dirty tricks.
Unethical.
This unethical dirty tricks.
Doesn't mean it's illegal.
No,
though.
that I've advised other people over the years to do, and they were successful. And I put it together into a course where I'm teaching people how to use the systems, bureaucracies that are all around them against their targets
Yep.
to wear them down, because it's a war. It is, everything is war.
Yes. And what's really hilarious is that even with all this dirty pool that we're teaching these dudes to play, all of it really just evens the odds. That is how much of a disadvantage men are at in this country.
That's right.
Oh, but we have male privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just blind to it, right?
Correct.
They don't even stop to think about how stupid it is. Well, if you have privilege, you're blind to it. Well, what about female privilege? Well, that doesn't exist.
Here we go.
All right.
Affirmative action.
Are you going to think about it?
WIC welfare, Section 8.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that as a woman, you can force a man to become a parent and or pay. But as a man, if you try to force a woman to become a parent, you can go to jail.
Also, if you're a man and you can't afford to raise your children, you go to jail.
And if you're a woman who can't afford to raise her kids, you get welfare, Section 8, WIC, food stamps.
Alimony, the whole deal.
Oh, yeah.
bunch of
Totally privileged. Yeah, you just keep saying it. Bastards.
Suck a dick!
Suck a dick! All right, we ready for Super Chats? Ready for Super Chats.
I am. Let's get this over with.
We missed one on Thursday. It must have come in pretty late. Lazarus Long. Got a joke for you. Guy goes to a baseball game and this leper sits next to him. After a while, the guy leans over and pukes. The leper says, hey, if I need to leave, I understand. I can go. The guy says, it's fine. Tells him to stay. A few minutes pass. He leans over and pukes again. The leper insists that he can leave, but the guy tells him to stay. After the guy leans over and pukes the third time, the leper strongly insists that if he is grossing the guy out, he'll leave. The guy says, look, you can stay. And then he takes a heavy sigh and he says, it's not you. The guy behind you is dipping his nachos in your back.
Oh! God, that's horrible. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it's funny. Woo!
That one's like lump of vomit right there.
Yes, very much a lump of vomit.
Lump of vomit.
I want to give a big shout out thank you to Daniel for a $50 donation, actually a subscription creation over on Locals.
Thank
are
you
the
so
man,
much.
sir. Thank you so much. And then we got another subscription creation over on Locals for Logan. You are awesome.
Thank you.
very
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to start with the New Tech chats because New Tech is where it's at. New Tech doesn't take 30% of your donation. They're not quite as bad as the Red Cross, YouTube, but I'm just saying.
Wow.
Andreas Christian, I know a debonair mustachio that would love to swim against chicas and transformams. He is called Bigfoot. Some artists, Sabaton, Justin Johnson, The Dead South, Moonshine Bandits, and Relax Trio. Sounds like some good times.
All righty.
Jackal the Emperor, what's up, you toothly scrotum shavers? Kind of dried out my mouth. What are your thoughts on Cry Precision JPC plate carrier with light soft plates? Good enough idea for a 150-pound shock trooper?
Okay. A lot of people bring this up to me all the time about plate carriers. All right. Will a plate carrier save your life? Yes, it will. For direct hits to the plate. The plate is not that big. All right. You would be better off buying like a 3A soft body armor, wearing that against your skin, and then having a plate carrier that you could take on and off as the mission dictates for the amount of weight you need to carry. Because most of the people that I've ever seen who were wounded in combat was done with shrapnel. or there was explosions that threw glass or other objects that wounded the individual. The soft body armor will prevent that from happening. All right. Now, if you're an individual and you're walking around the city and there's some shagnanigans going on and mobs are doing fucked up shit, you can buy slash-resistant clothing on eBay that will turn back a samurai sword.
Hell yeah.
So you wear the soft body armor. You wear the shirt of the slash-resistant stuff. Put on your clothes. Walk around and conduct business as usual. But guess what? You are not going to be able to be dropped instantaneously with a pistol or a shotgun blast. And if somebody walks up and decides they want to fucking cut on you, they're going to have a real hard time. They could ruin your clothes, no problem. But the flesh underneath won't be unzipped, because zipping that shit back up is expensive, painful, and takes a long fucking time.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Woo.
It scares me, all the shit I know.
Hey, that's why they tune in.
Yeah.
Just saying. We got a $25.34 worth of Bitcoin donation over on Cash App from Daniel. That is awesome. Thank you so much, good sir.
Thank you.
I don't see a comment to go with that quite yet, but it doesn't mean that it hasn't loaded yet. I will keep an eye out, because that's how I roll. Big shout out to the 62 people currently watching over on D-Live. Drop to Hammer now with 20 lemons, Rizoa with 12, and Joshua B with 10. And the gift game is going strong over there. I always like to see it. 92 people currently watching on Twitch. How you guys doing over there? Wrenches are in force. And back to Odyssey, where we got 126 people watching. Francois Le Chatain. Good evening, dear Mr. Pop and Herr Kleiner. You know what? I really don't see how any criticism of swimming athlete Leah Thomas Kutter should be construed as a misogynistic attack or an attack on women's rights, whether said women are biological or manual transmission. Why? Because I don't see any woman there, really. Do you?
Nope.
On the cookie. That's awesome. Hey, I
don't see it.
Somebody actually accused Tucker Carlson's programming of photoshopping a picture of William Thomas. You photoshopped, there's a dick in the swimsuit. No, that's actually the photo.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
saying.
That's good times.
It's not the first time that he's been accused of photoshopping. You remember when somebody tried to accuse him of putting googly eyes on AOC?
Yep.
But she literally just looks that fucking nuts?
Well, first of all, I don't even know if as a betting man, I would bet he doesn't know how to even do that.
Well, it would be one of his staffers
or
something. A graphics guy.
I got you.
Caleb on over on Odyssey. On the cookie dealers, they got pissed and tried to take the Boy Scouts to court over accepting girls. Really? That's fascinating. I didn't know that. In the community of culture, there are doujins that have pen of all holes as a thing. Yes, there's even a category called nipple pen.
Ugh.
Yes, there are people who want that.
There's some crazy ass shit out there.
Caleb on, you're a sick bastard. I don't want to know how you know all this stuff.
No.
You don't have to tell me what
The only reason I know all that is because I had to confiscate porn from soldiers for years. Some of the shit I fucking took off those guys was...
Quite literally.
It was insane.
German scat porn. There was a whole footlocker of it. If you haven't watched that story yet, you're missing out.
You're missing out.
Cake Hammer. If you want a good charity, Freedom Service Dogs of America in Colorado. Charity Navigator shows they are super clean. They only use rescue dogs for training. Any dog that washes out gets adopted out as a pet, and disabled vets are in the population they give dogs to.
All right.
That sounds like a good charity to me. Freedom Service Dogs of America in Colorado, if you want to look it up, gentlemen. All right, we got Blackjack over on Rumble. I was in a scout troop about 5 years ago, and even when they made the final blow of taking the boy out of Boy Scout, there was not much life left in the organization. It felt like the end was coming. All over your face, neck, back, and thighs.
That's correct. They ruined it.
They ruined it. That's why they had to declare bankruptcy. Jimmy Bones on Rumble. Allegedly, there's a Ukraine field doctor that issued an order to castrate any and all captured Russian soldiers because they are, and I quote, cockroaches. Daily Mail reported that story today.
Now listen, that's a little excessive, in my opinion.
A lot of the shit that I hear coming out of there sounds completely made up. Oh, yes, we killed 5 Russian generals. Do you know anything about modern warfare?
Well,
Maybe they got a couple,
we'll see.
but 5? Once the first couple started to die, do you think they're going to go rushing in there?
Well, okay.
I mean, they are Russians, but I'm just saying.
Let's just put this into perspective. Do I think they killed 5? I don't know. Do I think some high-level officers were killed? Hell yes. All right. Now, we're not going to find out if this is actually true until like a month or 2 from now or after the hostilities cease and everybody counts up what happened.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I trust those numbers about as much as I trust China's COVID numbers. Just saying.
All right. But I track this stuff. I've been as soon as the hostilities started, I started tracking this stuff, and the numbers I've seen for losses for Russia go from anywhere from 200 tanks to 700-800 tanks.
Oh yeah,
that number's probably somewhere in the middle, 400 to 500-ish. That's tanks. And I saw numbers between 800 and 3,000 lost armored personnel carriers. Do I think they lost 3,000? No. That number's somewhere in the middle. As a betting man and somebody who's seen war, I'm betting on right around 1,000, 1,400 tops. But just those two numbers alone, you're talking Russia lost 400 to 500 main battle tanks.
yeah.
And 1,400 armored personnel carriers. That is huge.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But like where I'm coming from on this is that I look at where the money is going. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to the propaganda, and it just doesn't add up for me. You know what does add up though? And we'll get back to the MGTOW.TV chats here in just a second. The Senate has approved a $1.5 trillion budget that's containing emergency Ukraine aid. About $18 billion of it, as far as I know. $14 billion.
Yep.
Now, and it easily cleared the voting threshold 68 to 31. First of all, you're all fucking traitors because you're passing a $1.5 trillion spending bill during a time of hyperinflation.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, this is supposed to be to defend a nation's sovereignty and democracy. Right. And never mind the fact that they passed this after debating about it for maybe 24 hours, and it took them months to get stimulus checks to a country full of people they had forced to close down.
I know.
It's a little fucked up when you think about it that way,
It's
isn't
not
it?
a little fucked up. It's
a lot
it's
fucked up.
hugely fucked up.
And in the meantime, how are we defending democracy in Ukraine? President Zelensky has suspended all opposition parties with ties to Russia. Sounds a little like Richard Potato action to me.
Yeah, that doesn't really bode well.
Not so much. And then what else is going on? Tax dollars at work. Ukrainian officials keep getting caught fleeing the country with suitcases full of cash in euros.
And I have been getting reports from individuals. Now, listen, I have people in the military, all over our government. I have one guy who is letting me know what's going on from Poland, and a couple of people who are actually in Ukraine delivering medical supplies.
Yep.
Now, we're going to show you pictures of suitcases full of money. All right. Now, a lot of that money is coming from individuals who took some of those free, high-cost weapon systems, sold them on the black market so they can get suitcases full of cash to get themselves and their families the fuck out of Ukraine. That's what's going on.
Yep. The wife of former Ukrainian MP declared $28 million and 1.3 million euros entering Hungary.
Well, at least they claimed it.
And she's not the only one. Another Ukrainian diplomat attempted to flee with 68,000 euros and $140,000, 12 kilograms of gold, and almost 14 kilos of gold jewelry, and a large number of cigarettes.
You got to have they smoke their asses off over there. Now, do I fault these people? No. They're trying to get the fuck out of the country before it implodes and want to save their family. I totally get it.
Yeah, but you know what? this is a country that we live in is $30 trillion in debt.
Yes.
And you know where your tax dollars are going?
Right
there.
there. Right there on the screen.
I'm telling you, man, if somebody owed me a bunch of money and I found out that they were giving it out to other people who were hostile toward me, I would be kicking ass.
There would be an ass beating.
There would be some broken kneecaps.
There would be an ass beating delivered.
People want to, like, deify Zelensky. He's just as fucking corrupt and screwed up as Biden and Putin. He's a piece of shit.
Making me drink, motherfuckers. Making me drink.
Mungo Harry on MGTOW.tv with a $20 donation. Thank you very much, good sir.
Thank you very
Evening,
much.
gentlemen. What new, fresh horrors do you have for us this evening? Oh, we're well into it now.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow Monk. Interestingly enough, the COVID virus was actually created in Ukraine and then exported to and released in China as a way to distract us all from the damning information during impeachment hoax number 2 to cover up for Ukraine. Putin secretly saved our asses from COVID-22, amen. Also about my most recent ballistic shadow email minutes ago today because viewer discretion is advised.
I believe I forwarded that one to you.
Did you now? Because I didn't see anything from a shadow anybody. Negative.
Okay.
I will look it up because that's how
more
I roll.
Gluten.
Gluten. Oh, that kind of gluten. Okay, I got you. You mean gluteus.
Gluteus.
The gluteus maximus.
Gotcha.
Outstanding.
The gluteus.
I love that stuff. It's always one of my favorites. Crazy Uncle with email at Redonky Punching. Good evening, you pecker-popping, pooper-poking, pussy-penetrating pansexual pimps. I don't know if you guys ever heard the phrase right on the head, fire in the bed before.
Yeah.
Well, hearing this growing up, there were a few jokes I should have sent last week, but I was so tired, I barely remember you going on to new text. Here you go. How do you know when you've satisfied a blonde? She says, next. How do you know when you've satisfied a brunette? She says, that was fun. Do you want to get married? How do you know when you've satisfied a redhead? She unties you and helps you sanitize the bite and whip marks.
Okay.
Thankfully, I never had that problem.
I will not tolerate that.
How do you turn a redhead into a brunette? Flip her over. And how do you know if you fucked a true redhead? The pussy looks so much like fire it burns just as much when you fuck her as it does after. Oh.
I don't know.
Gonorrhea. You rat bastard. And another one at Redong Dipping. Depends on where you're dipping it, I guess. Instead of writing a book, I'll just say this. If you're like me and have any type of reaction from any shot, don't fucking do it. Tell the doc to go fuck themselves. Though I can say this. You are going to see people wanting justice for those family members that have been hurt, and worse, since they can't find it in the courts.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
It's historic examples are all over the place.
It's coming down the pipe.
It's coming down the pipe. And I'm going to sit back and watch the whole goddamn thing and not not lifting a finger to stop it.
Amen. Crazy Uncle, remember, you can't fix stupid and you can't stop crazy. All you can do is minimize it.
Yep.
Or, keep it going in the background while you got a porn tab up. Crazy Uncle, again, if food prices are going up, then maybe we should start Victory Gardens. If you guys do what you can call it, Pop's Potatoes. Huh. Then again, every time you pull one up, it will say, come on, man. My butt's been wiped.
Yep.
NCAA swimmer, what is the name? Thomas, right. But if that's the case, just call them Tommy from here on out. I prefer William. That's actually his real first name.
That's his real name?
Yeah, William Thomas. Or Billy Thomas, if you prefer. Billy Tommy. Iapetus, Blake, for Pop Rant's Emperor Palpatine's soundbite, please. You gotta make me do it. We're going to be getting into Hunter Biden later, so that's definitely going to be happening. AR Trooper Wingo. I must admit I enjoy the rage and disgust I receive when discussing this with women. I love reminding them that they are equal and can do anything a man can do, and now it is time to prove it. Mm-hmm. They can't.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yes. Crazy Uncle wants a but.
There we go.
Some good stuff right
That's
there.
not bad.
Oh!
Hey.
Hey, he asked for a straw man. It's a good thing we don't argue with straw man. Get it, huh? Iapetus. For the feminists who think... that's Stephen Wright, not Stephen Fry. I don't think I can do Stephen Fry. For the feminists who think MGTOW are uncouth, brain-dead apes, it's time for poetry with Pop. There was once a Pop from the Rangers. who always liked his women as strangers. Full German women are fine, perhaps even divine. They even accept Pringles cans full of shit.
Nice.
Nice. AR Trooper Wingo. Pop, brilliant! You're correct. If all bio-females instead of racing did an about-face at the go command will, and that kept happening, I hope they hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, spread the word, man. If any of you out there have, college athlete kids, send it on. 2 more from Crazy Uncle. What do you call a woman selling something on the street? Soliciting. But for some reason, it is fine to train young girls to sell on a street corner. Did I melt your brain or just piss you off?
A little bit of both. But he's right. He's right.
It's very true. Whenever you deal with a raging liberal/socialist, just do the "how dare you" and tell them you are a masculine-presenting transgender lesbian. It's funny to watch them either watch them lock up or freak out to the point that they get thrown out of the building. Fuck 'em. AR Trooper Wingo again. Ukraine has just banned 11 political parties in their own country and censor TV news. Yep. So much for Ukrainian freedom.
That's right.
Crazy Uncle again. Pop, have you seen the videos of farmers in Ukraine refueling them and driving them off? Or they just drag the broken ones out into the street? Once the spring rains come, armor is beyond fucked. Thoughts?
All right. All right, let's start off here. World War II. This is not a surprise to anyone. It's not a surprise to the Russians or the Ukrainians or anyone that lives in that vicinity of those countries. Once it starts to thaw out, it is a fucking quagmire of mud.
Oof.
And when the spring rains hit, it's going to be even worse.
Yep. Welcome to the big game. Speaking of which, Greg V976 watching the big game in the Ukraine earlier showed 2 javelins heading to the mark. I love things that go boom.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that vehicle did not survive.
Probably not.
Nope.
What do we got? Tanker Boy Sabo with 2538. Properly uninebriated and most likely won't make it to the reading of Super Chats until I hit the replay later, but I know number 427 wants to thank Pop for reaching out to my tanker buddy, Adam Fuller.
Yes, I did.
Outstanding. Thank you very much.
Hopefully he can unfuck himself and use my comedy the way I want it to be used, which is to reignite hope within yourself. So when you are totally hopeless in the world of darkness, you always have your own light to navigate by. Just saying.
Ellen Flinchbaugh. A time is coming when men will go mad, and when they see someone who is not mad, they will attack him, saying, "You are mad. You are not like us." Saint Anthony the Great.
Well, it does happen.
Yes, it does. The wackos are running the asylum kitties. Ha ha ha, no, with a 1776 donation. Something may not directly or immediately hurt you, but that doesn't mean it isn't hurting you. You think children getting groomed isn't hurting? You think being inundated by this isn't grooming? Oh, we know.
Oh, we know.
People turning their back on it? You might as well just string yourself up for child abuse charges right now.
Absolutely correct.
Tony Soprano. Hey, Pop, I didn't catch that. What ended your sister's swimming career?
Dick!
You got to do it.
No. This is what happened. No. She literally married her high school sweetheart and decided to start having kids. Like, she was pregnant before she even graduated high school.
Ugh.
So the kid was born shortly thereafter. Now, don't get me wrong, her kids are cool, except for the female. She's a bitch.
Shocker.
But the other 3 boys are good.
Good.
I don't have a problem with them.
Thumper, the sweaty fat guy. How you doing, sir? My pronouns are master/owner of the universe. It's all mine. Find the strongest XX girl in the world to arm wrestle me.
All right. I want to see that.
Yeah, me too. Tigger, too, with a $20 donation. Thank you very much, good sir. Take a moment to thank Bruce Jenner for putting his mental illness on public blast and getting the trans ball rolling. Now he's trying to walk it back and lamenting this woke world, and he effing helped create it.
He absolutely did.
Now, I will admit, though, it was very funny when he said, "I just have the balls to stand up to this."
Still.
That is pretty funny. Mickey Mishra, Gab banned you. Oh, I guess TFM was right about Gab.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
They're-
Getting banned on there was bullshit. Smooth Criminal, Dancing Hillary has given me extreme autism. The first night she played it, I was crying in the shower eating a box of Girl Scout cookies.
You fucker.
You should have gone with a shower beer. That's infinitely more satisfying.
Shower beer.
Michael Morgan, have you heard that a sizable amount of liberal schools are flying the burn, loot, and murder flag under the U.S. flag?
Yeah, that needs to stop.
They're actually endorsing domestic terrorists and criminals now.
They are.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. And it's hilarious when they try to point the finger at the white supreme pizzas, which really isn't a problem.
Well,
Only if you stack the deck with the statistics.
they have their little get-togethers. All right, they pull permits. They have the white supreme pizza rallies, and they literally only get 1,200 to 1,500 people out of the entire nation to show up.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
And even when people do actually show up, they don't cause $2 billion in damage.
No, they don't. And that's just, listen, it's way more than $2 billion.
I know it's way more than $2 billion.
It's got to be way more than $2 billion.
That's just what can be claimed.
Well,
Let's not forget.
that's probably what they are expecting the insurance companies to pay.
Well, no, that's the actual number of claims. That's what could be claimed. It's going to be way higher than that. The actual dollar amount of damage and especially life lost and shit, it's way beyond that.
Yeah, you're right.
Fan I am. I must not simp. Simping is the man killer. When the simp is gone, only alphas will remain. The red pill melange will transform me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Simping is bad. Simping creates horrible women, which create bad times, which create strong men. So stop it.
Yep.
Alex Patino, speaking of confused poles and holes, check out sounding on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, God, no.
Yes.
Thought we're beyond this.
Why? Why did you think we were beyond it? Sounding is the act of inserting a metal rod in your urethra. Sounding tubes are meant to be used medically, but some people figured out that they experience pleasure from this act. The reason for this being that the sounding tube can reach very sensitive parts inside of your penis that, if stimulated, can create very intense orgasms.
I don't think that's going to work out very well.
That is, if it doesn't get stuck. Just saying. Things happen. No one plans on being that guy who gets admitted to the ER with a chair leg stuck up his ass.
Or a light bulb.
I tripped. Sure.
1 in a million. 1 in a million. Right.
Is that a participation trophy up your ass? Yeah, well, there was this raccoon who came in my house. Yeah, whatever. Just shut up.
Slipped and fell. Okay.
Michael Morgan with a $20 donation. Thank you very much. On Pop saying women shouldn't be on the front, West women said they're equal to men. Thus, they can die in equal numbers to men for equality. Give them what they want. Until inevitably pregnant to avoid the same jobs that men face.
Now, he's got a good point there. But my thing is this.
They asked for it.
Yes, they asked for it. But there's going to be a lot of simps next to these women that are going to get killed trying to help them out on the front line.
That was exactly what I was thinking about, too.
All right. Now, granted, yeah, they should be drafted just like men. And whatever happens to them.
Yeah. Oh, well. Bastards. Alex Patino, at the beginning of World War II, when Germany invaded Russia, Stalin had all yes, sir men for generals who were loyal to him, and then he had to purge them and put incompetent generals in charge and purge after the war.
He did. There was like 3 or 4 layers of purging.
Stalin was an evil motherfucker.
He purged a lot of good fucking officers out of his army before 1937.
Yeah. Dumbass. Anonymous Butter with a $20 donation. PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Airbnb all had agreed to report transactions of $600 or more to the IRS as a direct result of the America Rescue Plan bill that was passed last March. Yanked them from rusticoak.com.
Wow.
Fuck that.
Yep. It's time to get rid of those fuckers.
I declare everything for that reason, because I don't want a SWAT team showing up at my house. It's legalized blackmail. That's all it is. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Absolutely correct.
Jason with a Polish last name. If they want girls in Boy Scouts, what about boys in Girl Scouts? Well, that's misogyny. You can't do that.
And I believe they denied boys in Girl Scouts.
Yes, they did.
And the courts supported that.
Yes. James P. with a $50 super chat.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
I'm planning on opening a scrap metal business in Ukraine. Cheers to all the brave Ukrainians kicking ass and cooking Russian tanks.
All right.
All right. C.G. Roberts, Blake, that spending bill had 2 Second Amendment control measures.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll cover that in another show.
It's this thing, like, they don't even read these damn bills before they sign them. And I'm sorry, if you are creating policy for this country and you are passing legislation without reading it, you should be fired. You should be forced to resign because you're traitors.
Now, first of all, we need to moving forward, we need to put laws in place that keep these massive spending bills that lump all this horse shit together. It's something that is going to affect, the citizens of this country deserves its own fucking bill.
Yes.
This whole
let's just lump everything
lump
into
it
a
in there
bill.
and just fucking pass it. That is fucking horse
A
shit.
whole bunch of pork barrel spending bullshit. Fuck's sakes. Dario, who knows, maybe one of those black hole subs in the Belgorod are already positioned in the West Coast to send one of those nice tsunamis.
Maybe.
Hey, you never know. Eddie-O84 sent an email about Tim Pool. Hey,
Okay.
Pop, you know how Tim Pool always says the cult/city urban liberal types? Well, I got him to say I prefer crazy urban neurotic tools. The clip included is about 10 seconds. All right, let's check it out. I'm always interested in funny shit.
Eddie says, get Tim instead of city urban liberal types. I prefer crazy urban neurotic tools.
No.
City urban liberal type as a statement is not offensive in any way, but when you put it together and you show the first letter of every word, it becomes offensive. That's kind of, that's the thing.
I like it. I like it.
It's called an acrostic. Yeah, I remember stuff. That's awesome. Let me see. C.G. Roberts, did you show Pop that Chick's video / the in butt one? Chick's video.
Didn't see it.
I don't know, C.G. I don't remember the last time you sent me something there, bro.
Sorry, man.
Check it out here. Drunken Land. No, that's not it. Resend that one to me if you could, good sir. Just
We're
wanna
not
make sure I'm
seeing
not
it.
Missing something, not seeing it. What do we got here? Alex Patino, again, the spring thaw and rain, also the fall rains in eastern EU. Russians call it Rasputsitsa, as it was the Soviet secret that somewhat stalled the Germans.
Oh, it did stall. It wasn't a somewhat stall. It did stall them.
Yeah. It was
That shit's a bitch.
Yeah, land wars in Russia are never fun. Smooth Criminal, 2 years ago, I saw a fortune teller that said Trump was the last U.S. president and she couldn't see past 2024. Something horrible is coming.
Absolutely correct.
Oh, it's already here. Whatever Tube with a $19.99 donation. I'm one of the guys your vid saved the long game. You already added me. Hey, man, Coach Red Pill claims to be in Ukraine and says the Russians are tiptoeing through the country, not what's being portrayed in the media. Your thoughts?
I've watched a lot of what he's put out, and to be honest, we are not going to get the accurate, true picture of what is happening over there at this time. What I do is I look at 3 or 4 other YouTube channels, and then I look at between 7 and 13 other sources that publish news blurbs and so forth about what's going on.
Yep.
And I just backwards plan it and put together my fucking shows on the Ukraine. That's it.
That's how it goes, man.
And I'm not accurate either. I'm just trying to give you the closest educated guess you could possibly get.
Yes. All right, that catches us up on Super Chats. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break to go and drain our squirrel bladders. And we are going to rejoin with you guys on all of our new tech platforms. Would you like a roll call before we adjourn?
Oh, yes, I would.
For the people out there who think we only broadcast to Rumble, pay attention.
All right.
D Live is currently sitting with 63 viewers. Twitch, 98. Odyssey is kicking 145. Rumble is currently watching 762. Outstanding.
Wow.
A-Flano7 says, you do sounding to cheat the refractory period after your first blast. Leave it to the pros. I don't want to know, man. I don't want to know. 62 on MGTOW.tv and on YouTube, 1,003.
Oh,
Smash the likes, dudes. We're going to see you on New Tech shortly. If you're on YouTube, watch for those links so you can ride them directly to the New Tech locations in the chat. And we're going to be talking about Hunter Biden, so you know what that means.
and some poke and smoke stuff.
If there's time. There may not be. It's already 9:30.
All right.
What is he doing? Come on, man.
You ain't black.
Ah, you ain't
All
black.
right, go drain your squirrel bladders, ladies and germs. Refill your menageries. We'll see you in 5,